as Nigerians await outcome of 2014 National Conference Report. Elder statesman Chief Edwin Clark says the conference report was a reflection of a new Nigeria, where a rule of law will be order of the day. Speaking in exclusive interview with Ben TV in Abuja, Edwin Clark said conference is the highest assembly of Nigerians.
The conference is the highest assembly of people all over the country. You had the physically challenged people, including the blind, the deaf, the lame, and they were all there. The trade unionists were there, the youths were there, and you saw Ms. Mandela participating. That is, the youth leaders were there. The civil rights members were there. They were more than any other group. The former legislators were there. Former speakers were there. Former senators were there. Former governors were there. About 20 or 30 of them were there. Trade unionists were there, as I mentioned. The elders were there, represented by us. The professionals were there. The academicians were there. So, every aspect of the country was represented at this conference.
Speaking about the resolution of the conference, Chief Clark disclosed that about 600 decisions that will move the country forward were taken at the conference.
So about 600, almost 600 decisions taken at the conference were by consensus. That is through voice votes. And there was no opposition. Nobody wanted a ballot by which the 70% could be used, because everybody was satisfied with the consensus decisions that took place.
Nigerians are anxiously waiting for the implementation of the conference report. Muyiwa Bamdele reporting from Abuja.
Every year in October across the world is celebrated the World Egg Day, with people enjoying and celebrating the wonderful versatility of the egg. There is so much to celebrate, as eggs have the potential to feed the world with the greatest secret as nature's vitamin pills. National President, Poultry Association of Nigeria, Dr. Ayola Odutan, addressing a press conference in Abuja, said egg plays a vital role in feeding people around the world, as they are an excellent, affordable source of high protein with the potential to feed the world.
In Nigeria, we're fighting infant mortality. We're fighting maternal mortality. We should be eating more eggs. Pregnant women should be eating an egg a day. Young children should be eating an egg a day. Young adults, the same thing.
It is currently estimated that across the world, 1 billion people are underfed and malnourished. According to the association president, the economy of the egg in Nigeria is enormous, as an egg a day for 50% of the Nigerian population will produce a daily economic value of 1.7 billion naira.
We are insisting that the government introduces an egg a day in the school feeding program. I'm happy to say that some states have started it, and they are enjoying and reaping huge success.
A cross-section of Nigerian students who spoke to Ben TV have this to say.
Egg, I just like eating egg because the egg used to make people fat.
I like eating egg because my mom likes cooking it more often than, I prefer eating it than eating meat.
It contains protein. When it contains protein and it builds the body.
To always give their children anything protein, carbohydrates.
I will encourage them to eat it because it helps in building your body.
The theme of this year's World Egg Day is an egg a day for the Nigerian child. From Abuja, LM Chukwemeka.
Reactions have continued to trail the recent South-South rally of the People's Democratic Party in Edo State and the reassertion of Chief Tommy Kimi back to the party from the APC. Speaking with Ben TV in an exclusive interview, the People's Democratic Party chairman in Edo State, Dan Obi, said that the coming of Chief Tommy Kimi and other APC members into the PDP is a sign that the people are tired of the lies and media noise of the ruling party in the state, stressing that the All Progressive Congress in the state has been using propaganda as a tool of governance to deceive the people.
Ikimi and others leaving the APC to join PDP is certainly a plus for PDP and a minus for APC. But more importantly, what is going to win us the next election is our consistent constructive criticism of the Adams Oshomoli's government. We've been able to expose him to the electorate as a very fraudulent governor. In actual fact, we have disconnected that government from the electorate. The teachers are not happy with him. The workers are not happy. The ordinary people in the streets, even students, are not happy with him. Way back in the 70s, you can walk into a home in Benin City and you turn on the tap. Water will be flowing from the public water works. But today, anywhere you go to in Benin, if you must have water in a home, you must drill a borehole. Adams so far has succeeded in using propaganda as an instrument of government. But those on ground will tell you that there is nothing in Edo State today to show for the noise that is coming from the government that is currently in power in Edo State.
Dan Obi also accused the governor of spending taxpayers' money on frivolous jamboree trips and foreign picnic, said that the PDP will provide an alternative for the people of Edo State in the next general elections.
We cannot compare his government with Lucky Benedio's government. If he feels that Lucky failed as a governor, why should he be comparing the lack of performance we are describing his government to be with that of Lucky? 8 years of Lucky's government, all that he got as allocation from the federal government, Adams got that amount in less than 2 years of his tenure. So there are two different eras. And if you look at what the governor is claiming that he has spent on repairing roads in Edo State, you will ask yourself the question, where exactly did he spend this money? In fact, this government itself is a challenge to the people of Edo State. How do you explain a government claiming to spend as much as 30-something billion on the so-called Benin stormwater project? And if it rains in Benin today for just 15 minutes, it's flood. You will be confronted with flood.
He therefore enjoined the people to massively vote for the People's Democratic Party to bring closer the dividend of democracy. I am Festus Ejirog Nefife.
A coalition of civil society groups under the auspices of Say No campaign has joined other Nigerians to condemn the 4,000 naira online call-up detail fee imposed by the National Youth Service Corps. The conveners of the group, while addressing journalists in Abuja, said the fee is contrary to logic to ask unemployed graduates who are being impressed into the service of their country with the privations and sacrifices entailed to pay in order to serve the nation.
So, whatever excuses or explanations they are giving now is not just selfish, but it is in pretense, and they just want to deceive Nigerians and deceive young people to actually pay this fee. We are of the view that if the rationale behind this is to deploy technology to ease collection of call-up letters, therefore NYSC should explore the option of asking young Nigerians who are web developers to support them in deploying this technology and not ask young people to pay 4,000 naira, because it is totally unacceptable and is just unheard of in a country like Nigeria, where we know the injustice that actually abound.
The group also demand immediate establishment of an independent judiciary commission of inquiry headed by a retired Supreme Court justice to investigate the circumstances surrounding the $9.3 million proposed to purchase arms to fight Boko Haram insurgents, which was interrupted by South African government.
The National Assembly, the security agencies must investigate this scandalous and shameless act, carrying cash in this modern age that we are even practicing cashless society in Nigeria. You carry that kind of huge amount of money. I think it is a shame for the nation, and they should, in fact, they should all apologize. And in fact, not only that, investigation should be done to see how they have been, in fact, using that kind of avenue to do that. So I think in this way,
we will ensure that this democracy is safeguarded, because it was won, fought for, and won by our blood, by our sweat, and we will protect it regardless of where the threat is coming from.
They also used the occasion to call for the immediate sack of the Assistant Inspector General of Police in charge of Zone 7, Mr. Joseph Mbo, over what the group alleged as abuse of human rights.
Mbo is an AIG of police paid from taxpayers' money, and therefore cannot wake up according to his own whims and caprices to decide who to rearrest, to decide who to detain, and decide who to take to court. And it's part of that impunity that both us as activists and those of you in the media, our colleagues, will need to wake up to and begin to challenge. If Mbu gets away with it today, then a divisional police officer can wake up in the morning and say he saw somebody on television who said something that he didn't like, and then he will simply just arrest the person. Then we'll be going back to the days of Idi Amin.
The group condemned the unlawful determent of AIT journalists on the orders of the Assistant Inspector General of Police, Mr. Joseph Mbo, saying it is an abuse of power on the part of security agencies whose sole responsibility is to protect its citizens. From Abuja, LM Chukwemeka reports.
The Director General, Bureau of Public Enterprises, Mr. Benjamin Dickey, said the Bureau will soon engage Aviation Minister on the concessioning of airports in Nigeria for better management of airports. The Bureau is saddled with the responsibility of monitoring of performance of privatized enterprises to ensure adherence of investors to the share purchase agreement, performance and full implementation of investors' post-acquisition plans. Mr. Dickey stated this at the ongoing Abuja International Trade Fair while rolling out the Bureau's key performance indicators. The DG also said a concept paper for sports reform and concession of stadia has been sent to the National Sports Commission for input, adding that the Bureau awaits response from Sports Commission.
We will establish the regulatory agencies at the National Transport Commission, Road Fund, Road Bill, and then we're planning to recommence the privatization of airports in Nigeria. 2 or 3 weeks ago, I had discussions with the Minister of Aviation, and he showed me a text. Somebody has sent him a text to say that although there has been some improvement in the efficiency of running the airport, and he told me, say, DG, if the private sector was running this airport, these things would not happen. And so, very soon, we will engage the Minister of Aviation, and collectively we will start a new process of privatization or concessioning, not outright sale, concessioning of our airports, just like we've done for the ports. We'll grant concession of maybe 15, 20 or more years, according to the business model that will allow investors to make a reasonable rate of return on their investments during the period of the concession. And I want to say we've already concluded review of the policy in the housing sector, the policy in the tourism sector, and have already commenced work on the legal and regulatory frameworks. For sports, we have already sent a concept paper to the Minister of Sports, and the project advisory team has been set up. And we want to exploit the potentials that we have in these sectors for economic growth. I'll give you a small example. Britain is just 45 to 50 million people, but they make a substantial part of their GDP from sports. Not all sports, particularly from football.
The President, Abuja Chamber of Commerce, Industry, Mines and Agriculture, Engineer Solomon Nyagba, commended the Bureau for the successful privatization of power sector and urged the agency to duplicate same in the oil and gas sector.
I can confirm, being a professional myself, I can confirm that they have done tremendously well. And I commend my brother Benjamin Digby for the courage. We still have a lot to do. Power is just one element of energy. We have a major one. And please, we pray that you will be there. Sometimes government used to change people. We don't want you to be changed until you go ahead to privatize the oil and gas sector. As operators and private operators in the industry, we are ready to invest. We miss out a little bit on the aspects of power, but I want to assure you that a lot of our members are already into the oil and gas business, and we would like to participate actively in that aspect of privatization. It does not mean that when you privatize, government will just walk away. No, government is always regulating, overall regulator of the economy. And they cannot say, no, we have promised to go and do whatever. No. As a matter of fact, that would be a dangerous trend. It is better to have a government and public monopoly than to have a private monopoly. Nobody can control a private monopoly, but we can always cry. We are all citizens. If there is a problem, we can always come to government and say, oh, look, this area, please intervene. But if it is a private monopoly, it's on its own, and you will tell it to get out, and you have nothing to do. So the fact that we have achieved a lot in privatization so far, we cannot go to sleep yet. We have to continue to nurture.
Abuja International Trade Fair is an annual event to woo investors and prospective investors to network and avail themselves of investment opportunities in Nigeria. Awesome Raffle, Bank Television, Abuja, Nigeria.